What's up, 2.9ers? Welcome back to Blown to 4.0, a channel full of shits and fuck-ups and Sasquatches that live in the closet. Today, we're gonna be reading some more scary stories to end Halloween, kind of. I think we have like a week left. I'll have to look at the calendar. But today, we're going to be reading about Ouija boards. The one thing that I will never touch when it comes to spirits and ghosts and animals that live outside.
OUIJA boards.
OUIJA boards. Not to be fused with orgies.
Orgy boards.
Yeah, or smorgasbords. Anyways.
This is taking a weird turn.
Let's get started.
Hey, listen up. Before we start our weekly scheduled podcast, we'd like to cover our asses. The content in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes alone and should not be interpreted or construed as official advice or instruction of any kind. We're blowing a 4.0, so please listen responsibly and enjoy.
Okay, so this one, apparently there's two stories that she posted on here. Or he, sorry, don't know the gender of this context, this person.
They would be the correct term.
They posted on here. It's from No Mountain 9832. So if you see this, just comment, like, subscribe. We love you.
Or send us money.
Send us money. It says, why I don't play with Ouija boards anymore. Reddit has rated it a quality post. So let's see how qualitative it is. There will be two stories here. The first one super creepy, and the second one more sad, more of an explanation as to why I no longer participate. I want to preface. I want to preface this all by saying I grew up seeing ghosts, so this whole topic of spirits wasn't new to me. However, I was so scared by them that around the time I was 7 or 8, when the energetic system starts to solely individualize. Is that true? You wouldn't know. You don't believe in this stuff. I trained my brain not to see.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's actually, I didn't know the exact age, but I thought it was whenever you hit puberty. So I didn't know it was 7 or 8.
So like a ghost quinceanera?
Quinceañera? Yeah.
Preface?
Preference?
You're doing great.
Preface? I trained my brain not to see them anymore. I never talked about it with my friends, as my family never believed me, so I assumed they wouldn't either. Apparently there's been an edit. So due to the attention I've received on this post, I've decided to change the name of the person I mentioned in the latter story. I originally posted their real name, and I decided that possibly wasn't a good idea because people could look up who you were, which is true. This is why I tell you all the time, I don't think I'm going to put their name in it. Unless you specify that these are all fake names.
Yeah.
Yeah. First story takes us back to the thousands.
My autism is acting up.
What is it that you keep saying? Professionals. If y'all could see him back there, he finally did it.
Also, Doreen texted back. It's because I'm in charge. I'm the boss. It's because I'm a man. Also, while I've derailed this, like, grab my rifle.
Thank you so much for texting me back, Doreen. It actually hurts me a little bit, but it's fine.
Oh, that was good.
Anyways.
Okay, many apologies. Everyone's fine now.
Anyways. I was a little girl celebrating my friend's birthday. She always had a Halloween party to celebrate because that's when her birthday had happened to be. Okay. She always talked about how her basement felt weird and she didn't like staying down there alone. Well, having 10 or so 10-year-old girls sleep over. So she put all of the numbers up there and no comma. So like it's just a, yep.
List.
Well, having 10 or so 10-year-old girls sleep over on Halloween night wasn't exactly bedroom material. So her mom and grandma set us up in the basement. Ooh, spooky.
Moldy.
There, we played those weird games like light as a feather, stiff as a board, and stuff. Fun fact, I was the only one we successfully levitated. Interesting. Is it because she's already open and like pre-authorized to ghost?
She had takeoff clearance already.
Yeah. Ready for action. I remember opening my eyes and I was damn near at the ceiling. It was spooky. Oh God. It's like the freaking movie.
Well, you got right up into that microphone. You yelled at me. You've hurt my ears.
I'm sorry. I was changing positions. When some of us started to get tired, we brought out the Ouija board because, you know, what's a 10-year-old birthday party without a good old ghost hunting with demons? A few of our friends were spooked, so they didn't want to participate. Me. We asked innocent questions like kids usually do. Who is the birthday girl gonna marry? How old are we gonna be when we have kids? Stuff like that. It's not asking fucking psychic. I love 10-year-old brains. Am I gonna wear a veil at the wedding dress? At the wedding ceremony.
Speaking of 10-year-old brains.
Right? I remember I asked a question about myself and it replied dead, which was weird. Some of the girls got spooked even more by that. Then a girl screamed and said she saw something behind me in the mirror. We stopped after that. For a few hours, 3 of us, including me and the birthday girl, couldn't sleep. We weren't sure if it was the board. We weren't sure if the board was real or not. So we decided we'd try one more time while everyone was asleep because that's apparently the smartest thing to do ever. Good job. Thinking that since they didn't want to play, it'd be better that way. We were close to 3 a.m. What we heard is the witching hour. Remember here that we're about 10, 11 years old, dumb, and have no idea what we're doing or who we're talking to. Granted, still gonna make my comments. We asked the board if it could do something for us. We said at 3:15 a.m. to have the girl who saw something in the mirror wake up and say something to us. It was over 15 years ago, so I don't remember what we asked for this girl to say. All I know is we asked for her to look into the mirror and say it. 3:15 a.m. was about 20 or so minutes from when we asked the question. I remember us saying goodbye to the board and putting it away. The three of us were talking about how impossible our ask was when 3:15 a.m. hit. Wait, that's a weird sentence. We knew it hit 3:15 a.m. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
When 3:15 a.m. hit, we knew it hit 3:15 a.m. because her basement had a big grandfather clock that didn't ring anymore, but the clock function was still working. We were waiting, and right before the time changed to 3:16 a.m., it happened. The girl shot straight up out of her blankets and looked straight at the mirror with her eyes closed. She whispered what we asked her to say, then dropped to her pillow like nothing ever happened. I would be booking it out of there. I'd be like, nope, gone.
Mom, can you come pick me up?
I'm scared. We all just looked at each other, frozen. No other girl that was sleeping stirred. None of them moved, not 1 centimeter. We were so freaked out that we didn't sleep until the sun came up. And in October in the Midwest, that's pretty late. I guess, right? I don't know, the time changes. We got 3 hours of sleep tops that night. This was my first ever Ouija board experience, and that changed the way I viewed spirits forever. I still think about it and feel guilty that I basically asked for one of my friends to be possessed. Needless to say, don't ever do that again.
I'm ordering a Ouija board on Amazon right now.
Fuck you. I'm never gonna touch that shit.
Oh, you don't
I
have
just
to.
got chills. You said that and my body went woof.
Because I'm going to do some fucked up stuff with it.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm summoning demons.
You know the thing that you told me to edit out of the other video? A guy's gonna walk in. It's just gonna be floating around.
We should definitely play with the Ouija board.
No. Dude, I still keep getting chills as soon as you say Ouija board.
Ouija board.
Stop.
OUIJA board.
No.
OUIJA board. I'm having fun with it.
No. Her friend got possessed. What happened? Like,
It was just a little one.
A little one can still attach to you.
It was just a little one.
Nope. Tell me what happened to your friend. Our second story comes in nearly a decade after the first. I was a senior in high school and one of my classmates, just kidding, she's a cheerleader, invited the whole team over to celebrate her birthday. I didn't know it, but she had a Ouija board and she brought it out and I said, nope, not a good idea. I guess her grandma had just died and she really was torn up about it. I was very adamant that this wasn't a good idea and that we don't know what we're talking to. And that we don't know if what we're talking to would be her grandma or not. She promised me she'd just try it twice and then she put it away. By this time, I knew a lot more than I did back during my first experience. Thank God. I told her that she must say goodbye each time the girls rotated, and I had them put salt around the board to keep whatever they were talking to inside the board so no one would or could get possessed, which is true. You can also put yourself in a salt circle to like protect you and the others. Yeah.
What if I'm just naturally salty?
Just because you sweat out salt doesn't mean you're salty. They tried it at least 4 times with different girls every time, and the planchette didn't move even once. They all laughed at me of how scared I acted earlier, saying that this board is stupid and doesn't actually work. I got kind of annoyed because some of them knew about my experience. I had shared it to the few who were already hesitant about the board when it was brought out. I said, you know what, I'll do it, and I'll prove to everyone here that these boards are real. It was me, the birthday girl, who was a class below me, and 2 other girls from my class who only joined the team for our senior year. Don't know why we need that information, but we put our fingers on the planchette and did the 3 circles to begin. I asked who we were talking to, and the planchette moved for the first time that night. Jesus Christ. The 2 girls in my class were huge skeptics. They said, of course it would move whenever I said, I'll prove it's real. They accused me of moving it, but the information that came out was information I never knew until they connected the dots for me. The board first goes to letter J, then to letter R. We were confused because Junior isn't a name or a name of anyone we knew, or so we thought. We then asked why they were here, and the board spelled friend. We asked again, who is this? And the board spelled JR. We then asked, what does J stand for? And the board spelled out JONAT. And one of the girls from my class screamed, no way. We all looked at her in confusion, and she asked, is this Jonathan Raymond? Is this Jonathan Raymond? The planchette immediately moved to yes. The 2 girls screamed. Just kidding. I'm reading ahead. The 2 girls sat so quietly, and we just waited. The birthday girl asked who JR was, and the girls started to explain. JR was a guy who was in class above me. I knew of him, but nothing about him personally. I had been cheering at our school for 4 years. So I knew him from the football team. That was about all of him I knew. What? That was about all I knew of him. He had passed our sophomore year, his junior year, due to his car exhaust. He didn't want to wake his parents after driving home from a party in the middle of winter, so he slept in his car with the car on in the garage. His parents found him the next morning. I remember it totally ripped apart his class. I remember his friends not showing up to school for at least 2 weeks out of grief, and we had a big celebration on the football field in the spring. Back to the Ouija board situation, the 2 girls in my class were panicked. They looked at me weird, and I said, well, it must be him coming through. They said, no, that's not possible because the board doesn't work, and that I'm making all of this up and moving the planchette. They said I was a horrible person for impersonating JR, and I said I wasn't because I truly wasn't. I said, let's keep going and see what comes up. I knew they were friends of his and could validate the information that comes through. They reluctantly agreed and feverishly asked a few more questions. They asked for his football number. The planchette moved to 2 numbers, and the 2 girls were in shock. I looked at them questioningly because, again, I didn't know this about him. It had been 2 years since he passed. I had no idea what his number was. I couldn't even remember which number the assigned player I had a few months ago had. I couldn't even remember which number the assigned player I had a few months before had.
In your defense, that's a dog shit sentence, so...
Yeah. Then they asked what color car he had. The board answered red, which was true. I at least remembered the picture they had for his celebration was him in his car because he loved that car. Sorry, I got really close.
Yeah, you really did.
I backed away. Then they asked who his best friend is, and I definitely had absolutely zero idea who would that be. Again, we had similar friends. We were at the same places at the same time occasionally, but I never once spoke to the guy, and our mutuals didn't really talk to me about him because we really didn't have anything in common other than friends and the football/cheerleader type of association. The board spelled out his best friend's name. The guy was the only guy in our school with that first name, but we asked for the last name just to see if it would spell it out correctly, and it did. The girls didn't even say goodbye. They flung the board at me. They called me a liar, saying I made all this up. They were sobbing and screaming at me. It made me so uncomfortable. I was nothing but the tuner, the instrument which opened the veil for them, and they thought I was an awful person. The whole team fell silent, and I just left due to discomfort. Ay, don't leave. You have to say goodbye. Even though I had been captain of our team and had cheered with majority of the girls for at least 3 years, majority of them didn't even talk to me, even at practice, for at least 2 weeks. So many of them thought I was even crazy or disgusting. Only a few of them understood that I wouldn't have known that based that I wouldn't have known that based on who I was friends with at the school and who I actually hung out with. JR and I never truly crossed paths for conversation until that night. If it was actually him, that is. I think it was, but I do know that spirits can pretend to be someone and read our thoughts and memories with them. I don't use the Ouija board anymore because you never know who you're going to get or who you're going to piss off, even if it works. Now, I am a practicing energy reader and medium, so all of this stuff, this type of stuff in my life has taught me about how to further connect in a safe way behind the veil. The end.
Sick.
That's creepy though. You're not getting a Ouija board.
I already ordered it.
You fucking... I'm not touching it. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Have fun with the Ouija boards, whoever plays them. You. The Sasquatch in the fucking closet. No, I'm not playing it. I'm not touching the damn Ouija board.
You don't have to touch it.
That is final. End of story, end of video, end of conversation.
I only need a vassal through which to send my demons.
A vassal. I'll get you a ship and you can play with the boat, okay? There's your vassal.
Whatever, bro.
Peace out. Bye, 2.9ers.
Bye, motherfuckers.
Oh my god, don't be mean.